All right. So first, I'm going to talk about Scream. Then we're collectively going to talk about Copshop, which is out now on Netflix. And then we're going to close out with 80, talking about Spencer. I'm just going to quick sip of my beer first.
I need to start drinking alcohol.
Get that down,
during
yeah.
these.
Let's get it. Sponsored by... Oh, maybe not say this.
Here's to Maddie's true blue.
That's not happening. Guys, you need to see Scream. Scream 5.
Know.
It legitimately, it's probably the second best one after the first. It's very, very good.
Okay.
And it's hard to not talk spoilers, but I don't think you have to, if you're switched on and you like movies, like this is a must watch because the commentary is very relevant to today. There's a lot of talk, especially in the beginning, about elevated horror. Like I found it interesting, like Scream 4, the new topic was torture porn, like Saw and Hostel and all that. And then this, like, they talk a lot about elevated horror, like Hereditary gets mentioned a few times, Get Out, all those movies, like, you know, horror with meaning. And with the big reveal and you meet the killers at the end, they're just like, fuck elevated horror. Like, sometimes you just want to see someone get stabbed.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun. But what it ends up being is they kind of don't really touch on it towards the end, but without spoiling the killers, but it's all fueled by toxic fandom. And, you know, like there's this amazing line by the killer at the end. He's like, how can fandom be toxic? It's all about you loving the film. And but he's saying this as he's trying to kill someone. So it's very out there. But without spoiling too much, the main focus of the film is requels. And they do acknowledge that the name is not fully out there right now. But it's the one I would compare it most to is Star Wars, like Force Awakens, where they have a new cast of younger people to continue the franchise, and they do it passing the torch, but they bring in the old cast to sort of keep the fans around and shepherd them. And these killers are all about they're people who met on turns out they're people who met on Reddit, and they want to these aren't major spoilers, by the way, I don't think, like, because I'm not giving away who killers are and stuff, but they're people who you know, they want to make the Stab movies, which is the Scream movies in their universe. They want to make it good because the franchise went to shit. So, like, you got to bring back the old cast. We're going to do it in the old house. And it's like they're sort of directing their own horror movie. But the thing that's amazing about this is just like the other or the better Scream movies is it believable? Maybe not. But they managed to walk the line where it's never a comedy. It's always a horror first. Yes, there are funny moments, and there's some great commentary, and there's some parts where they're kind of shoving it down your throat. But the Scream movies, I think, they've got a unique situation where they've built a path for them to get away with that shit. They've done a really great job of doing it, and oh man, shout out to these directors because they capture the tone and essence and dialogue of Wes Craven to a T. Like, if you told me Wes Craven wrote and directed this, I would believe it. Wow. Here are the names. I'm just going to shout them out. Matt Bettinelli Alpin, I've probably screwed that up, and Tyler Gillett. These two, I believe, are the ones who did Ready or Not. And I was...
Yes, I liked Ready or Not.
I was surprised going into this because I'm like, oh, well, that's like a really, like, it's a horror movie, but the comedy is so in your face there. So I thought, oh, this is going to be like one of the big, like, more comedic takes on Scream. No, it's like a murder mystery. It's drama. It's horror first with commentary on the genre of horror movies and modern horror movies. And there are comedic elements, but they're all organic to the story. There's a really great scene where I won't touch on it, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. They sort of do a joke that Scary Movie did about the first Scream movie. They did the same joke, but they did it with their own unique take in a way that wasn't making fun of Scream. They did it in a way that really honored it, and it was done amazingly. I can't believe they pulled this off. Like the hype is real. This is a movie for the fans. It's a movie for not just fans of Scream, fans of horror. And if you're listening to a film podcast, this is for you because they talk about the same shit we would talk about. Admittedly, some people don't talk like real characters because they're literally just giving off their little agendas and thoughts about how horror movies are these days. But like that's kind of why I love the Scream movies. This movie has so much to say about the current state of horror films. And regardless of what it is, it's great to see a movie that has something to say and able to say it well. I think my last comment I've got to say on this is Scream 5 achieves everything the Matrix Resurrections wanted to do. But one film fell flat on its face and one did it really well. I mean, they both have the previous films exist in continuity through another medium, whether it be video games or movies. They both have got like an older cast, bring in the new cast. They both try and recreate scenes. They both have commentary about the current state of requels and franchises and how like the industry just wants to suck money out and they don't treat the fans well. Both films actually do that. They say like the industry, the way that they milk franchises aren't treating the fans well. But the difference is like the Scream franchise is set up a universe where it's okay to talk about that and it's still done with love. You know, it feels like you're talking with another fan. The Matrix, it feels bitter and they're like easy jokes and it just doesn't work within that universe. So for everything bad I have to say about Scream, I've got like the good version of that to say about Scream 5. Even the name is commentary because like they'll talk about movies like Halloween, where the new Halloween is actually a sequel to Halloween, where they have like Laurie come back and the old cast. But so that's why it's not called Scream 5. It's because it's the way requels are done nowadays. So it's very smart. I think it's very, very well written in the sense that like if you take this to a script doctor, they might say people don't talk like this. But when you consider the fact that it's trying to juggle the meta of the universe where this is the world they live in, then they've got to speak about they've got to break the fourth wall without breaking the fourth wall, while also have something to say, and then still being a horror movie. That's a mind fuck. Like this would be such a hard script to write, but the writers fucking nailed it, dude. And it's good, and the kills are good too. If you're a fan of the Scream franchise, like they did justice. They did the franchise right, and it's so fucking rare to see because a lot of these requels they talk about aren't great. Like Terminator ate a bag of dicks.
It did. Oh god.
Like there's I can mention a bunch of other examples, but Terminator is like such a great example of like it failing at what it's trying to do. Weirdly, the one that's making fun of all of these films, trying to set up a new franchise with a younger cast and stuff. This is one of the only ones to do it well.
That's amazing.
My only complaint, but my only complaint is though, it's like, where do you go from here? I don't think you can have a Scream 6, or at least for another 5 years, because what's there to talk about? They've done originals, they did horror movies, they did sequels, they did trilogies, they did reboots, now they've done requels, and even the TV show, even though it sucks, they kind of touched on doing horror as a series. But back then, there weren't many series out, so maybe you could try another show again. But I don't know where you can go from here with the Scream franchise. But if this is the last one ever, I'm okay with that because they did good. Also, I don't want to give spoilers, but there was a clip that we did for TikTok, and all I'll say is Zoheb was right. He called it a year ago. He called it, 4 months ago, whenever we recorded it. And there was a moment in the film where they set things up. I'm like, fuck.
He got it.
there's a character, and and I literally said to myself, they're Han Soloing him. They're, and if you know what Han Solo happened in The Force Awakens and how that happened, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But they did it so well. But hats off to Scream 5. They freaking killed it, man.
That's it. I am going to go and see this immediately. Bye, guys. I'm out.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. I'll shut the fuck up now.